Hey guys, it's Neodyinamite and welcome back to Satisfactory. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last time we've managed to build a space elevator. We've managed actually to progress through the first stage of our colonization for the project assembly thing. Now, the thing is, if you watched the previous one and if you like watching or playing Satisfactory in your own spare time, you know that at the beginning the actual problem comes with the electricity, because you need to provide your burners with fuel. The fuel coming from natural resources such as wood or leaves. I can't say that those resources are like super efficient, but you have to use them for the time being. Now, there are other ways, of course, of getting electricity, which I just need right now, so that's wonderful. Because the game is based basically on Factorio, you probably know that in Factorio, coal is the first thing you actually get. You can try to burn wood, but let's be honest over here, nobody who's playing Factorio in the right mind will try to use wood as its burning material in order to fuel up the first electrical like supply. You just skip to the coal right off the bat. And in Satisfactory, this is not the case, because first you need to build the actual elevator, then you need to gather specific resources, and only after that you'll be able to unlock yourself the coal power generator and other blueprints like that. So this is the thing we're gonna try to focus on just today. Now, before you're gonna do anything, just please remember that you also need to unlock from the tier 2 something called the part assembly, which will give you the rotor. You actually need to have those things in order to unlock the first milestone of the space elevator. Expect for that thing, you also need a thing called reinforced iron plates. So basically I made the rotors and reinforced iron plates here at the workshop at my hub. It's quite easy, you just need to set up like some basic production in your constructors and in your smelters. 2 smelters working on iron, which then transforms it to iron plates and iron rods, which later on transforms to other materials. And one of these smelters is working on copper ingot, which is making copper wires alone. Basically at the beginning, I think that's like my own personal opinion, before you try to automate everything, it's actually a good idea to stick to make yourself most of the things, like the things you actually need for construction. You can set up the automation, of course, for the ingots and for the making, let's say, the plates, the rods and the wires, but everything expect of that, I kinda recommend that you do it yourself, just to save on some fuel, so you don't have to like actually run around. Like I had this chicken, just took like some leaves and trees. If you like actually my type of guy who likes to preserve nature as much as that is humanly possible. I know that Satisfactory is not about preserving nature, but this is something I try to do in games like this, because I really hate to end up in an empty map later on in the future. So basically, to unlock the coal generator, you need to unlock yourself tier 3 and 4. For that thing, you need to deliver the resources to the space elevator. You need to unlock like the first part of the space elevator. Now, drop the reinforced plates and the rotors over here. Seal the cargo as such. Then wait for the space elevator to initiate the transportation thingy and just send the resources to orbit. And with those simple mechanics, wow! This actually works. It did not work like this in the alpha version. That was impressive, I have to admit. That was really impressive. So now, back at our hub, we should have new things to build and unlock. Here it comes! Very nice. This is something that did not have actually happen. Who would have guessed? And with this simple mechanic back at the hub, ladies and gentlemen, you will receive finally the coal power from the tier 3. And as you can see, the coal generator, the scanner update, coal, the truck station and the truck itself, which would become probably otherwise very useful. But since I know already where my coal deposit is, I'm not gonna need the truck at the moment. I'm just gonna need something else though. What I'm gonna need for this particular outpost, because if you don't know, this is my boot base. This is the base that is supposed to supply me with basic resources so I can actually commence the construction of the main base. Later on, somewhere on more open space. This is just like a temporary camp, work camp, however you're gonna put it, not an actual main base. Basically, later on, I'm gonna transform this thing into a supply outpost that will just supply me with a small boost of basic resources. Now, speaking of, the coal power plant requires from you 25 reinforced iron plates, 25 rotors, 500 wires, and 200 cables, which if I can actually be honest with you, those are not big requirements. Those are actually quite common and simple one if you think on how many things you need to craft in Satisfactory. So as you can see, I have cables for days, and that's like not even a problem. However, just to be honest with you, before I'm gonna try to get the coal, which I will have to, I need to actually look for something called jump pads. It comes from the tier 2 thingy. This device is quite helpful, quite useful, and actually for this boot base, I kinda recommend this thing if you want to have a quick access to coal. You can get this without the coal, but it's a bit more tricky. So, without further ado, I'm gonna actually send the resources on orbit, like such. Just need to put those things in, and I need to put some plates. Beautiful. Okay, so this will allow me to build the jump pads. If you actually watched my videos during the alpha access of Satisfactory, you probably know already what I want to do. So this is just for the people who don't want to follow the Let's Plays. There is my base over there. As you can see, there are the smelters over there. That's like the iron deposit. So you have to literally go towards this rock pile over here. Like if you're gonna see, I think that's the swamp. You're gonna recognize the swamp by those weirdest looking plants, I guess, and the mountain, of course, in the background. So more or less, you have to go here. I think I'm gonna actually make some foundations before I'm gonna try to progress with this thing. Oh, if only I would have actually some concrete to use. We'll be right back. So make yourself something like this over here. As you can see with the foundations, this is the jump pad and a space jelly, basically a huge jelly landing pad. So that means if you're gonna drop from like, let's say, a high distance over here, then you won't get fall damage. That's exactly how this thing works. So you go up, try not to smack your face over the rock. Up. If you actually do, try to land in the jelly. Okay, let's try this thing again. Beautiful. Exactly what I wanted to land. Wonderful. And now, ladies and gentlemen, say hello to our new friend, Mr. Coal. Mr. Coal? Mr. Pickaxe? Whatever thing I have. Get into mining. With those simple moves, you have now access to coal generators. So I'm gonna build 2 over here, just so I'll be able to fuel up the base downstairs, like in the valley. Let's say this is a valley. Also, I need to have a conveyor splitter over here, just so I can power up 2 generators at the same time. And of course, the only miner. And I have to actually aim this thing. A cool thing about this deposit that this is actually pure coal, so it's gonna be very helpful. Put the okay, apparently I cannot put it over here. Okay, make small adjustments, small movement. Rotate this, put it over here. Connect you here. Connect this thing here. Connect this thing here. As such, beautiful. Now you just have to connect everything by cables. And finally, a little additional, now completely automated power supply will be done. I just have to put this thing over here, as such. Make sure to connect the cables, as such. And just need to make a small little power pole over here. Connect this thing. And now connect everything to this. Ladies and gentlemen, we just unlocked coal power supply without any problem. Let there be coal! Coal! Whoop. Go! There it is, finally. So now the coal will now go to the generators, which will now get powered up, and we can successfully turn off the burners at the hub without any problem. And a good thing about this is that this thing will be able to supply our little base without any problem, and also we should get like a bunch of coal as well to use downstairs, and even for the future main base if you actually decide to transport coal over there just to fuel it up with additional power. So yeah, it's now working, and it's working beautifully. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, this video is gonna be probably a little bit shorter than the other ones for Satisfactory. We are now back to square zero. The same amount of stuff that we've managed to do in the early access version. now is actually time to expand. So the next episode is gonna be us going back into the normal Let's Play. I'm gonna probably try to make this thing into more compact version. We're gonna probably try to make this thing more efficient and prepare for like actual docking of the tractor, so we'll be able to move the resources around without much of a problem. For now though, I'm gonna sit over here, enjoy the view, and watch how my little factory will continue to make resources for me, so we will have a nice supply of those for the next episode. For now though, I think I'm gonna go over here. If you want to try Satisfactory yourself, link as always in the description below. Feel free to kill the game and, well, enjoy your satisfaction. For now though, I'm rambling too much, so I'm just gonna leave it as over here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked the episode, please subscribe a lot. I'll see you all in the next video.